light take on the day's topics. Hot topics. Cool tech. Technology. And your interaction. The Michael Garfield Show. Now, the world according to Garf.
Just after 12:50, 12:51-ish local time. I say local time, it's Houston time. If you're listening on iHeartRadio, it's pretty much about 51 minutes after wherever you are. Don't forget, that's a great app. Wherever you are around the world, you can listen to us for free, iTunes, Google Play. And so not only can you hear me, you hear about 600 other radio stations. About 14 million different songs you could stream, and you can also hear all of my guests, including every Friday right here at this time, Shannon Register. She has a show 1 o'clock on Sundays right here on KPRC Radio, which is called Register Real Estate Radio. It's a phone-in program. She's the guru of everything about real estate. You ever heard yourself on iHeart? You're famous all over the world. You know that right now. All over the world, people are listening to you. You scared? You nervous?
That's a little nervous, huh?
Oh, stop that.
Nervous, huh? No, Houston Real Estate Radio is on Sundays at 1, and we have a lot of fun with that, with the program. We were just over in San Antonio doing some remote broadcasting from the Sunbelt Builders Show.
That's fine. And you hung out with J.R. Martinez.
Did.
I mean, I thought I hang out with stars. Look at you. You're dancing with the stars. What J.R. have to say?
You know, he's an interesting character. You know, he is the spokesperson for Homes for Heroes, and it's a great organization, and he has just really led that organization to do a lot of great things for a lot of people.
No, it's good stuff. And anybody else that you saw or met? Because the neat thing is, obviously, when you have a real estate license, it's not for Houston, it's for Texas. You guys travel everywhere. You were in San Antonio. And we had talked about this last week. You're always trying to learn something. I mean, once you get your real estate license, you just can't stop because there's new laws and things. And so I guess it was very educational for whatever you say.
That's right. You know, we met with a lot of builders, and one of the issues that builders are having right now is construction costs have gone up so much, and there are labor shortages as well. So, you know, it's hard to get new neighborhoods off the ground when you're having these issues. So those were some of the things that we addressed at the conference, and there were a lot of educational opportunities, a lot of vendors to meet with, a lot of new products out. So it's exciting. It's always fun to go and learn more about the industry, things that we can take back and help our consumers with at our real estate brokerage.
You mentioned about the cost of construction is going up and labor. I mean, we kind of pride ourselves here in Texas versus markets all across the country. We're relatively low. But if the construction is going up, the price is going up, labor's hard, you have to assume new home prices are going to start inching up too. Is that right?
They are, and they have been. They have been. Some of the homes that were for sale last year, same floor plans in same areas, the prices have increased a lot. I mean, overall, the market's increased about 12% in value, which is good. We want to see those home prices going up. But the new home construction prices have gone up a little bit more, which is good.
Now, realizing that, though, when people are looking for homes, let's just say they're coming in from out of market, do they start looking at new homes, or do they look for the homes on sale that people are putting up? I mean, where's that? What's the percentage of going back and forth? You know,
it's interesting because you really have to talk to your buyers and see what their needs are. Everybody likes something a little different. And statistically, if someone has bought, if they have a track record for buying new houses, they're going to continue to buy new houses. So when we have clients who come into the real estate brokerage and they say, you know, I want to buy this resale house, and you ask them, well, have you bought resale before? No. Well, have you bought new construction before? Yes. I know right then they're going to buy new construction. They can go look at resale all day long, but they're not going to be happy till they go back to new construction.
But if you break it down, let's look at dollar for dollar. Where, and I know it's different market, different neighborhoods, but where do you think is the best value for the dollar, in a brand new construction or someone who's reselling their house? I mean, I know the resellers, they have upgrades that you don't find, which adds to it too. But new home construction, new mud tap. I mean, what's the best dollar value?
You know, it's hard to say because every neighborhood's so different. There's so many different markets around Houston, from Katy to Sugar Land. I mean, all over. So it's hard to say exactly. But I will tell you this: on a new construction house, you're looking at, like you said, a lot of times it's a new mud district. You pay more taxes, but you also have a very green featured house, a lot of energy efficiency. So you're cutting down on all those utility bills that you would be paying in a much older home. So it depends, you know. Very old houses need a lot of remodeling, that you have to put a lot of money into them. Houses, what I tell my investors when they're buying properties is go with a house that's less than 10 years old. Stay in that 10-year range. And that's where that's usually where they're going to find the best value when they're looking at a resale, is in that 10-year range. Of course, if you're going to go older, you've got to look at all those additional costs for remodeling, and are you going to make it energy efficient? Because there's a lot of costs there. On the new construction side, side, you're paying more for the house, but you're also getting products that have long warranties on them, and you're not going to have to replace anything for a very long time.
This is so confusing. But that's why you're here to hold hands.
Well, and
right.
that's why it's such an emotional process, because you have to look at what does someone value, what do they like, what do they want for their family, and it's a lifestyle choice.
Oh, it's a big decision. One of the biggest decisions you're ever going to make in your life, especially if you've got kids growing up or the kids in the neighborhood and the school districts. And there's a lot of factors.
There's so many factors. So every buyer is different. We sit down and evaluate each one and what their needs are and figure out where they need to be and what's best for them.
Good, and you hope it comes out in the end. This is Shannon Register joining me. She's got the show 1 o'clock here, Houston Real Estate Radio, 1 o'clock on KPRC Radio. She was all over the state, San Antonio, and Lord knows where else you're off to, continue your education. We are creeping up until the beginning of August. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that was the deadline for your summer promotion that you guys are running.
Yes.
What's the deal on this thing?
August 1st is the last date that you can list your home for sale with Register Real Estate Advisors and still be eligible for the $1,000 home staging, free home staging that we're offering to eligible guests or eligible clients. So if you haven't listed your home with us yet, you definitely want to get that on the market as soon as possible, because not only because of this promotion that's running out, but because people are getting back into school, the kids are going back to school and people are looking less and less for houses. Usually by the end of August, they've locked into the home they're going to purchase, and a lot of them have even moved in by now. And the market we see a little bit of decline in the growth going on in the consumption of homes. So you really want to have your house under contract.
That's right. Get it on, especially the hot summer months. One more question. We'll get you out of here on this. Talk about, I always ask you for tips, and certainly on your Sunday show, people call in and you'll give the number here in a sec. Talk about, let's just say, some of the pitfalls to be aware of in the industry right now. I guess one or two.
Back a few months ago, the big deal was the appraisals. Remember when we were talking about appraisals weren't coming in and we were having issues with those? Right now, we seem to be having some lender issues. And it's interesting because the lender issues, one of the biggest issues that I'm seeing around town, and I use AmeriPro funding with Mike Lussmeister, and I never have issues with them. But the problem is I represent sellers, and their buyers get whatever lender they want, and I don't have any control over that. So be sure that you know who you're getting your loan from, and that you're really getting a true pre-approval, because what we're finding is that you may have the letter that's a pre-approval, and your loan officer has said that this will get approved, but 3 weeks later when it goes into underwriting, they're kicking it back and saying, no, we can't do anything for you. You have to go to another lender. And sometimes you just don't get the house at all. So it can be quite a problem for the seller and for the buyer. And, all of this is laid out very clearly in the contract. And what I'm seeing is a lot of lenders aren't paying attention to those dates. They don't care about the closing date. If the closing date comes and the loan's not ready, we'll just put you off a few days. They don't care how inconvenient that is and how many problems that's going to cause for the buyer and the seller. Another thing is there's an approval date on your financing addendum, and the loan should be approved by that date. And if that loan hasn't been approved by that date, your realtor needs to extend that, or you have no way to back out. If it's a lender issue, you're going to lose your earnest money. And a lot of realtors aren't doing that. So, you really want to make sure, whether you're a buyer or a seller, that you're being protected and that your lender's taking good care of you. That's why I always tell people to go see Mike at AmeriPro.
And that's why
he always takes care of my clients.
Yeah, and you protect us too. And that's what you got to get a realtor who has your best interest in your needs. And I know you've been doing this for such a long time. That's what Shannon and her team does. All right, Sunday is your show. If anybody wants to go ahead and start calling in, leave some messages to answer their questions, how do we get in contact?
Yeah, you can always call and leave your questions at 281-882-8088. James and I like to answer questions on the air that consumers call in. You can call in anytime. It's 281-882-8088.
And website?
And the website is HoustonRealEstateRadio.com.
Simple enough.
Yep. And if you're interested in selling your house from the HoustonRealEstateRadio.com, you can find the brokerage on there. So.
Simple as that. Also, 1 o'clock on Sundays is your full-time show. Thanks for spending just a few minutes.
Appreciate
all right.
it.
Have fun going out there in the heat again, but welcome to summer.
That's
welcome
right.
to summer in Houston. All right, that is it for the first hour of the Michael Garfield World According to Garf show. One more hour, the power hour, the last hour of my weekday show this Friday. On-air blog. Give me a call, 713-212-5950. Happy to talk to you. We're going to catch you on the other side.